Hi everyone, welcome back. And today I'm going to show you how to build an app that essentially helps you learn Python. I know it's kind of counterintuitive, but it works. And of course, this app is built with AI, but I've also initially built it. So the initial stage of the build was done with Cobra. Essentially, Cobra is the app that I'm currently building, and this one is the old version 0.3. And it's an application that allows you to build visualizations, so essentially functionalities, and then essentially extrapolate the prompts that you can then go ahead and feed your AI. The idea behind that is that it allows you to um, create something that is concise and has a logical flow to it, where you will be using less prompts to design and create the application, just basically winging it or going in a linear fashion, prompt by prompt. So this really allows to just build the functions and compile it, and I will show you how that works. And at the same time, I figured out that there are quite a lot of weaknesses left, so it is essentially an application that is in progress. But that's how you test applications, right? You just go ahead and see if it works and see where you need to make improvements, and just you keep going until you get it right. So let me first show you the application, which is the Python learning app, allowing you to learn some pretty simple concepts of Python. Because even in today's day, where just AI will build anything you need, um, you still should learn how to code, and or at least have a good some good grasp of how coding languages work. And in this case, the one that we use the most, well, it is Python that I use on this channel. So let's just jump straight into it. Let me show you the finished product. As always, the code, the prompts that were generated via Cobra, which is the prompt generator that's currently in the build stage, that will be available in my GitHub channel as well. The code, the Cobra generated prompts, and at the same time, I will have the overall prompt for this very specific application, the learning app, which has some additional nuances that I've added. So let's get straight to it.
So let me open and I'll show you the Python learning application that was built. We're going to open the folder and it's called PyStart. So this here's the code. There's we have a couple of modules here. So we do have a random module. So this one does random variable generators, integers, sequences. We have a text wrap, and of course tkinter. You may have seen this before in my previous ones. This is the library for the graphical user interfaces. Now let's run this and see what we get. Let me just expand this a bit for the screen. Okay, so what is the idea here? There's a couple of subject fields for Python where we wanted to make this as easy as possible. So these fields include Python fundamentals, control flow, data structures, functions, and an introduction to object-oriented programming, which is very important for Python. How does it work? If we go to Python fundamentals and we click on it, so I highlighted it here, but let me double click. This provides some random examples here. Now the random examples, there will be a couple of different random examples, but they will generate, in this case, there's three random examples, but they will generate differently uh, with different variables and values. But the idea is pretty much the same. And at the back here, we do have a quiz. So you could quiz yourself, you will learn, and then, well, basically learn, then quiz yourself and see what happens. Now let's see if I could just put anything here, just enter some information and submit. And it will show you what the correct answer was. For instance, I got the first one right, and the other two obviously are wrong here, as that is not a Boolean by default, but it will show you what the correct answers are. So you could generate new quizzes, and you could essentially get the answers for it. Now it's the same for all the other ones. So let's say we go for control flow. And here we go with the control flow, which was generated. And the same thing with the quiz. It will be a quiz about control flows. So what we could do here is you could also copy, and you can then go ahead and paste it. So it will paste you the examples, and basically you could learn all these different Python concepts. That's pretty much how these work. Let me just do the others. Well, object-oriented programming. I love this one. This is really the bread and butter of of applications. Let me center this a bit more. So here we go with the object-oriented programming. Very important one to learn. Let's copy. Let's paste it, and then you could see that it could also generate different ones. Let's just close that. And this is a bit differently generated, but the architecture of it for the random learning example is kind of the same. So that stays the same. But you can create as many different random examples as you wish. Now, how is all this created? Let me go back to our VS. We're going to open Cobra. So this is Cobra 0.3. Let me just close that off. Let me center this here. And we're going to go to File and we're going to open the project and it's called PyStart. So these are the functionalities that were created. So Python fundamentals, as you've seen that in the learning program, control flow, data structures, which includes lists, tuples, and dictionaries, functions, and we have the object-oriented programming. And if we click, we could see that we have filled these in. It was saved to the database. You could go back and see how I've built the initial Cobra architecture, the and how it works with a Postgres database. I encourage you to watch that. And list. So we could see that Python fundamentals is part of a list called Start Learning. So that is a drop-down list. It has inputs, outputs, it has visual output that we can define. It has relationships that we could define as well. In this case, there is no direct relationship between these learning functions. Once all that is done, we'll add lists. These are where you add lists. We have one drop-down list right now. The compile allows us to compile the information. So when you compile it, this is what it gave us. So it really compiled all the information that was contained in it. The logical mapping allows you to just see the logical uh, setup. So in this case, we have one dropdown called Start Learning, and all these are the subcategories of that dropdown, all the uh, all the options. And we can reduce this in case we have lots of dropdowns, or we can just expand it. So let me close this. And we have a mind map that allows to see the logical flow. And we have the analysis. Now, a couple of weaknesses. The analysis is supposed to show you the success rate with the current prompts that you're given from the compile and what you would need to change in order to improve it. Now, what it does not do is that if there's changes that we've made, it does not compare the two. So that is one thing I need to add. And the other uh, part that we need to add is when it does compile, I would like to see the difference between the new functions that were added and the new changes. So that will pretty much go into the database, will actually be extracted from the database based on a date stamp. So the new date, the new functionalities, the latest ones created that were, or even if it was done in two successive different dates, but as the latest ones, it will break it down as to specifically what were the new additions. And it will break that down in terms of prompts that we can then go back and feed our Visual Studio Code AI and see and make the improvements. So, objective is just an overall objective that you will feed for the program. And that's pretty much it. A guide shows you how to use it, how to use all these different functions. And this is how initially it provided me with these original compiled prompts that allowed me to feed this. And look how neatly, so I've got the objective, I've got the structures, the prompts for functions, fundamentals, control flow, the data structures, list tuples, dictionaries, modularity. And so essentially I want to show you here how well compiled it was that allowed for a quick understanding of the AI to be able to use those prompts and go ahead and build a solution based on those prompts without having to kind of waste prompts until we start getting to where we want to get. This is a very quick iteration of setting things up from the get-go and it gives us a good start with as little prompts as possible because we will be wasting prompts and tokens as if we don't have some things as nicely structured as this is, as logically well structured.
So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you so far, and essentially, there's more good stuff coming up. Do like and subscribe so you can keep up to date with the latest episodes. And of course, I would really appreciate it if you like. It just lets me know, hey, am I going in the right direction here? And if there's anything else you want to see as applications or so on, you think it would be a great idea, just drop me a line. And hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.